Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The SMG category here in Warzone Season 5 is really competitive for the most part, especially because some of the buffs that certain SMGs got with the Season 5 patch. It's, really opening things up for you to be able to use different SMGs and really thrive with them rather than just a couple specific few like what we've had in previous seasons. And so with that, today we are breaking down the top 5 SMG loadouts in the game right now. We're starting first with the MX9, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. If this had, say, a 45 round mag or a 50 round mag, this could have the argument for like being a top 2 SMG in the game. Honestly, this thing is insanely good. It's got phenomenal mobility. It's got great TTK stats like all throughout, close range, mid range even, but it's just so limited by its ammo count, and that's why it's stuck here at the number 5 spot. But even so, like if you're a predominantly solos player, or you're someone who maybe plays at like a slower play style, is not actively engaging 2 or 3 enemies all at once, you could get away with using this pretty easily. Like, it is a very straightforward weapon and a ton of fun to use. So as mentioned, you have to be running a 32 round mag. That is a 100% necessity here, but it's all you got. We also got the Q900 rear grip on here. This will help out that ADS speed and sprint to fire. And just behind the face cam, I've got the C11 riser. This also helps out with that ADS and sprint to fire. So you're nice and snappy right off the bat with this thing. I'm not a big fan of the iron sights on the MX9 or any of the other AUG platform weapons. They're a little bit too bulky for me. So I do use a basic blue dot here. If there's a different optic you like more, feel free to use that. If you like the irons, you could upgrade to a stock or even a laser here if you wanted to. Lastly, I go for the S901 barrel. Decent for an SMG, but not that necessary, but it also helps out with movement. So you can get some bonus like attachment stats here for nothing really. It's like a 3-in-1 combo that works really well, especially for an SMG build, and just really makes it a bit more versatile, which you love to see. So this is a super underrated weapon. It's so good, just really held back by that ammo count. Now at number 4, I've got the Vaznev. Really, this thing is a solid close range SMG. The problem with it, and the reason that I have it at 4, maybe not 3, 2, or 1, is just because its damage drop off is super severe. It's really good, right up there with the best of the best in the first 9 or 10 meters, but then you hit 10 meters and that first damage drop off kicks in, then the next damage drop off kicks in, and then the next and the next, and it really falls off very quickly. So if you find yourself at 20 or 25 meters fighting with this thing, it might feel like a pea shooter in those instances. But if you play to its strengths, you get up close, the thing is going to absolutely fry. And the setup here is one that I'm sure you guys are plenty familiar with, because this weapon has been super consistent all year long, and I've loved this setup because it really maximizes its strengths as mentioned. So 45 round extended mag, very basic there. True tack rear grip for that better ADS and sprint to fire. The Atrazat stock is my favorite pick here. There are some good mobility based stocks. The R7 is pretty good. Broadside is a little bit overhyped in my opinion because the actual stats aren't doing too much. Stockless you could even go for, but you're going to have a decent amount of more recoil there. So to me, Atrazat is that perfect balance. It's not really hurting the control too much, but you're getting some good mobility out of that. Olay laser for that snappier ADS and sprint to fire. Then the CAS1 barrel, because this is going to extend that damage range, so that first damage drop off is going to happen a few meters later, which is still only a few meters, but it's something, and that could really change the gunfight there. If you're fighting at 11 meters and that damage drop off still hasn't happened yet because of this barrel, and it wins you the fight, you'll see how important that is. If you're fighting at 11 meters and you don't use this barrel, you're in that second damage range, you're shooting marshmallows. Now, as we break into the top 3, quick reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day, I'm your one-stop shop for absolutely everything going on in the world of Call of Duty, whether it is news, updates, meta breakdowns, you name it. So if you want to guarantee you're up to date with that stuff, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. And if you enjoy the video, if you find it helpful at all, do me a favor and hit that like button. It does really help the channel grow. But coming in at number 3 here, I've got the MP7, and I'm so glad that this is actually now in the top tier SMG conversation. All year long, this has been a gun that's been like right there. The Vel is usable and it's super fun and it's pretty consistent for the most part, but it's not like anything super crazy. Well, now it's been buffed in Season 5 and it's a lot more competitive now, and it's really, in my opinion, one of the most versatile SMGs we've got. Up close in like its first 10-12 meters or so, it's a decent TTK. It's not the absolute fastest, but it can hold its own. But then you get into the sort of the mid-range, 15, 20, 25, 30 meters, and that's where this thing really starts to thrive and overtake the majority of the other SMGs in the game. Not to mention its mobility is phenomenal, and it's super low recoil as well. So here we're going for the 50 round mag. I don't feel like you need the 60, but if you wanted to jump up to that, you could. I just find it a little bit unnecessary for my playstyle. Soldier rear grip for the better ADS and sprint to fire. The RXT stock for the better sprint speed and ADS speed. Again, if you wanted to upgrade all the way to collapsed, you could, but keep in mind that's going to add a little bit more recoil to the setup. So I like being a bit more accurate and still, very agile with the RXT. 7mm laser for that faster ADS and sprint to fire. And just to keep this setup pretty easy and straightforward, I do throw on the Lockshot KT85. This helps out primarily with vertical control, but also offers some horizontal as well. So this is a really solid option. I also see a lot of players using the Spiral Flash Hider. This is decent as well. It's not going to do as much for your control, but it'll be a slightly faster ADS speed. So just comes down to what you prefer there. But overall, I mean, the MP7 is a ton of fun, and really it's a sub that hasn't had that much attention on it this year. Highly recommend jumping in and trying this out because you might fall in love with it and want to keep using it. Now at number 2, no surprises here, I've got the Lachmann sub, aka the MP5. This is just a phenomenal close range option right now. Yes, it caught a slight nerf with the season 5 update, but it's still one of the better options out there. It's got that slightly steep damage drop off similar to the Vaznev, but it's not going to be nearly as noticeable in my opinion. It's also a tad bit more aggressive in that first damage range. Still, this thing is going to be a top TTK choice in the category. So if you play aggressive, if you want that true SMG agile feel, this is a gun that I would absolutely recommend all the time, right? And obviously that's been the case for several seasons. So here, going for the 50 round drum, perfect for all squad sizes. Basically, TCG 10 rear grip going to help out with the control because there's no ADS and sprint to fire rear grip here. So instead I just tune for that out of this, and that helps out a little bit there. I do go for the overpressured ammo. However, hollow point and frangible are also really good alternatives as well. It just depends on what you want this gun to do. I like inducing that extra target flinch because it's going to cause enemies to miss more shots. Hollow point though is going to make it so that they can't run away as fast, and frangible is going to make it so they can't heal as fast. So depending on, you know, what you want to have happen, you could go between any 3 of those and they're all going to be solid options. And then I go for the Falcon barrel. This helps out with that ADS speed and that movement speed. Just again makes it even snappier and even more aggressive. So you're going to be flying and frying with this thing. It's fast, it kills quick, all around it's just a very well-rounded SMG and absolutely one of the top choices. And I know this might come as a huge surprise, but yes, in the number 1 spot, we've got the ISO 45. What can I say about the ISO that I haven't said already? I mean, this thing is the do-it-all SMG. It's got a better range than pretty much all the other subs in the game right now. Its close range TTK is faster than pretty much all the other subs in the game now. Its mobility is phenomenal as well. It's just doing everything right. It is checking all the right boxes. In my opinion, it probably should have been nerfed alongside the MP5 with the Season 5 update. I'm very surprised that it wasn't, but I digress. Here we are. It is the clear number 1 SMG in my book right now. We're starting first with the 45 round drum, basic extended mag, sheer rear grip for that better ADS and sprint to fire. The cheetah stock is phenomenal in my opinion because it gives you so many different mobility benefits that just overall make this thing even more of a well-rounded SMG. 7mm laser, and then just like over on the MP7, I like having that KT85 compensator on there for some control. I know some players don't love the iron sights on the ISO though, so that said, if you really need to use like a blue dot or a red dot, you could drop the compensator here and throw on that. It might make you a bit more accurate if you can, you know, see your target better. But I live with the iron sights. They work for me. This setup is one that I'm sure you guys are very familiar with because it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that being said, those are the top 5 SMGs to run here in Warzone 2 right now. That's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video or if you found it helpful, do me a favor and drop that like on it. It would be seriously appreciated. And if you guys are new here, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with absolutely everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace out.